Hey everyone, this is Neil Napier here. Just give me a very quick shout out if you can hear me all right and if you can see the screen as well. So just a quick hello, a quick yes to let me know that I'm coming through fine, and we'll get started. Okay, Charity says yes. Hello, Ella says yes as well. Joy, Ragini, great to see you all here today. I know we have a few more people coming in. Howdy Partner says Robert. Robert, good to have you on the call as well. And I really appreciate, by the way, everyone who's been participating in all these sessions. And actually might be coming up, I believe, close to the end of all the webinar sessions. So I hope that you've been paying attention. I hope you've got some good value out of it. But even if you didn't, don't worry about it. We're going to cover a lot more things within the group as we move forward. Okay. All right. So let me see. Hello from Croatia, says Ella. Ella, great. I didn't realize you're from Croatia. Okay, so now today we're going to talk about support desk. And support desk is, let's just say, one of the most boring parts of a business. But if you do it right, it can also be one where you build a lot of trust with your audience and you actually make sales as well. I'll talk about how you do that today on this call and how you do that using InstaSuite. Now, I will tell you that eventually we want to extend support desk within InstaSuite a lot more than it is right now. There's so much that could go in here. So my goal with this as well, again, time permitting, when we get to it in perhaps a few months, expand it and add a lot more things to it that could actually make support the central part of your business than just, something that you have to do because you make some sales. If you think about it like this, support is how IT used to be for businesses. If I think back to about 20, 30 years ago, IT was kind of a pain for a business because it just had to exist in some way. You had a dedicated IT support desk which would take care of your emails, making sure your emails were up, making sure the website was up, but that's about it. But now the IT has evolved into information systems, and it's actually a very, very big part of any business. Logistics, planning, any kind of, we do online business, so we know how big IT is for us. But if you think about support desk, it's the same thing as IT was 20, 30 years ago. People think support desk is a pain that they have to deal with it, but I want you to make it a fun activity as well. Because as I mentioned, not only will you actually make friends with your audience, your customers, that's what you want, but at the same time, you will also be able to essentially sell to them later on. Roberto, I saw your questions in Spanish. I'm sorry I can't answer the questions in Spanish right now because Alvin isn't around, so it's just me, and I'm not going to be able to translate the questions. So there are a few things I want to focus on. Again, as I mentioned, it'll be a short session. So we'll talk about the best practices in support. We'll talk about how you can upsell during support and how you can keep your customers happy as well. But first, let's look at InstaSuite Support Desk and let's start setting it up. So everyone, as part of the InstaSuite package, gets a support desk, and it's easy to operate. Let me show you what that looks like on the front end. And you can customize this as well. Let me actually open this up in a new window. There we go. So this is what typically a support desk would look like. I've just put Spanish in there because I was trying something out. So there's a support desk, and there's also knowledge base if you wanted to add articles to it. Knowledge base is kind of like, let's say, tutorials that your audience, your customers can look at before they log a support ticket. Now, not every audience might want to look at the knowledge base. That's up to them. That's up to you. But what you can do in this case is offer them enough information here so that they don't log a support ticket. Because at the end of the day, support ticket is, something that you have to spend time on. So when you first land in here, some of the settings have already been set up. You'll notice that there's a pop-up that doesn't go away. And there's a reason that the pop-up doesn't go away. It's because it's mandatory. You cannot use a support desk without filling in those details. Those details involve stuff like your support email address. Try and avoid using a Gmail address or a Hotmail, Yahoo, or whatever other free public website or domain, because they can get quite bad. I mean, you might get blacklisted sometimes from inboxes. So try and use a private domain, because even if you do get blacklisted with your private domain, you can always get it unlocked after. So that's not a problem at all. So always try and use a private email. And the way to get that is from your domain registrar. So when you register a domain, within that, you will also see that you have a possibility to use something like Zoho Mail. I'm just going to type it up here. Use something like Zoho Mail and set up your own email. So it could be, neil@mywebsite.com or hello@mydomain.com. So use that. And again, support is typically the support email that you can use as well in this case. So this is support email address. You can add people in here as well. Remember, you do have the ability to add 5 or I think 3 or up to 10 people, depending on the kind of license that you have. Then you have departments. And again, a lot of this is for you to basically simplify things, but it is also something that your customers can use when they're contacting you. So department typically in any kind of support desk is like technical department, billing department, sales department, stuff like that. So just think about, if you were a real business, which I know some of you are, what different departments would you have? In the beginning, if you don't have any, don't worry about it. Just put something in here for now, tech support, because I think also if I go back here, if I show you it here, you'll see tech support shows up here as well. That's for the knowledge base too. So some of the articles, you can put under a specific knowledge base. So if I go in here and I'll say, let's say sales, or let's say integration support. There we go. Create department. And that's done. Let's just refresh this. There you go. Integration support shows up as well. So this is where you can put all the knowledge base articles later on, if you so choose to. Then you've got the tags as well. So tags are something that you, or again, your audience can use to basically tag tickets so that it's easily searchable in future. Then you've also got general settings here where you can have a support email, which again, as I mentioned, is this email. It has to be related to a private domain. Support name, so what name do people see? It could be your name as well as, let's say, in this case, name of the product that you have. And then email signature. Now this is actually where you make a lot of money. So this is where you can actually make a ton of money from your support tickets even. I can tell you that over the past 4 years or so on our support desk, which is outside of InstaSuite actually, because that's how we started 4 years ago, we've received about, I think, close to 12,000 support tickets now, unique ones, right? And even if we make sales on only 1% of them, let's say if only on 1% of them we make $50, right? Let me do some math here. So we've received 12,000 emails, and if only on 0.1% of them, 120 emails, yeah, we've made about $50, right? So if we have done that, we would have added an additional $6,000 with no additional effort, zero additional effort to a bottom line. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it is good money. And all you have to do here is this. So something like this, Neil Napier's here, InstaSuite, and I can say, did you check out our Insta series training? If not, see it here, right? I could then do this. Okay, done. So what happens now is that every support ticket that goes out, every response that goes out from my support desk will have this at the end of it, which is great, because now I can actually not just help people, but at the same time give them an opportunity to buy something from me. Because here's the thing you have to remember. Typically, when someone contacts you via support, they are annoyed, they're irritated, they're frustrated, they're in a very negative state. Your job is to help them so you can turn them from a negative state into a positive state. And while you're doing that, you can also make an offer. Hopefully, when people realize that they're happy with what they have, they'll be like, okay, why not? You know what? I trust Neil Napier. I trust what he's doing. I'm going to go ahead and check this out as well. And as I mentioned, if I only sell to 1% of the 12,000 tickets, I've added an additional $6,000, which is maybe not a lot of money, but it's still pretty good money, even if it's over 3-4 years. So just think about that. So your email signature will be appended to every transactional email being sent. And these are transactional emails. These are not marketing emails. So this way, you're not actively marketing. You're more or less delivering information, right? Then you've also got the ability to add business address, which I would recommend adding. Then these some simple settings. automatically assign a ticket to the staff member who last responded? I would say yes. If not, then the ticket will just sit in limbo. You can hide the Powered by InstaSuite logo, up to you. If you do activate it, then remember, you can put your affiliate link in there and also get paid by that. In fact, Groove HQ, which is a really big support desk, actually built the entire business by giving away the support desk for free and instead making money by using ads and tickets within the support desk itself. They've changed their plan over time, but that's how they first got started. Then a BCC email. So if you want to maybe, let's say if you are the admin and if you give this away to your team to use, then you can have a BCC email set up here. So all replies sent by staff members, they'll come to you as well. So you can kind of keep an eye on things if they're answering well or not. So then send email to each staff whenever a customer creates a new ticket through ticket form, up to you. Again, it's good for robust support, but you don't have to do it. So I left it as no for now. Simple settings, but as always, play with it, see how you feel about it. Then you've got the ticket form, which is like the thank you text. So this is the thank you message that you show to people, when they submit a ticket. But again, you can monetize this as well, right? Thank you, your message has been submitted. We will contact you as soon as possible. Sincerely, KV Social Support Team. And I can go back to, let me just go back to general settings, I think it was. Yeah, then let's copy this across. If I can, just copy it like this. There we go. Did you check out our Insta Series training? If not, see it here. Let's see if we can also then change something here, make it look bigger. We can make the whole thing bold. Okay, actually even better than bold is changing the size. Whoops, that's too big. Let's make it this. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to show you this. Then you also should send a confirmation email. So again, the same message could go in confirmation email. Now, I'm not asking you to be spammy in any way, right? You don't need to always push the same message, but it could be something different. You, instead of pitching them, the training all the time, you could pitch them something else. Have you checked out, the pro upgrade? Have you checked out this training? Have you checked out that training? So in a way, for you, handling support tickets actually is a good thing, because it's not only, getting you to give up your time to help people, but it's also getting you paid on the other hand. So it's a win-win situation for both of you, you and your customer. So you can put that here as well. Let's just save it. And we are done. I'll just make sure that the settings are there. Okay, it's there. And then finally, you have canned responses as well. And this is actually a really great way to automate a lot of what you do. So canned responses like this, and we use it as well in our business. So if we open up a new product and we know that we'll get support tickets about a particular product, then we will we'll set up a canned response. So every time we want to answer that ticket, we'll use that canned response. And again, I'll show you how to use that with an InstaSuite. But that's great, because this way you don't have to type the same thing over and over again. Again, I think it'll make more sense when I show you this in action. So let me for now jump on over to the KV Social InstaSuite / support desk and show you this one. So let's go ahead and request a ticket. So I'm going to log a ticket here. I'm going to say my name is, let's say, Will Smith. And my email is, let's see, jv@kvsocial.com. Subject is I need my bonuses. And department, again, maybe if your customer can think of a department, in this case, give them tech support. Okay, and I ordered my product, but didn't get my bonuses. So type, they can select if it's a, let's say, login issue or any other issue. So it could be a problem. It could be, let's say, medium priority. It's up to them to decide. I mean, it helps them, right? So they create a ticket and see what happens, right? So they get a thank you message. Thank you message has been submitted, and we will contact you as soon as possible. This sincerely, and also to check out Insta Series training. If not, click here. What happens when they click here? You can see this opens up on the same page. So now we can sell to them on this page, and that's great. They've got a ticket number as well. So this is a first setting opportunity that you have put in place. Let's go back over to here and let's look at our emails. Okay, let's see if I can find my email. Okay, there you go. That's, Will Smith. That's again coming back to me. Ticket request. Hey, Will, I just want to let you know that your ticket has been submitted and you should be hearing back from us shortly. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or issues. Sincerely, blah, blah. Neil Napier, CEO and Suite. And this is the link at the bottom where we sell. Right? So while they're waiting for the ticket, they can look at this and they can be like, okay, cool. You know what? I'll go check out what this offer is. And maybe they've never seen it before, maybe they have seen it before, they might choose to buy it or might not. Regardless, it's an opportunity to put an offer in front of them. That's the key thing. What do you think so far? Do you think it's a good way to make money with your offers? Yes or no? Let me know. Okay, Charity, great question. So we are moving at the moment. Susanna set up using something else, but we're slowly moving everything to InstaSuite because that's a support that Susanna had for quite some time. So I actually have a call set up with her today to move all the InstaSuite support over to our InstaSuite support desk. It makes sense. I mean, if we're offering it to you, we have to move it as well. It makes sense that we use it too. Okay, also in the US, I think legally we're required to use domain emails. Ragini, that makes sense. I would say use domain emails as much as you can. Can we customize the support URL to a specific domain side? Yes, again with domain forwarding. So if you follow the instructions, let me find it where. If you follow the instructions here, I think it's under, yeah, manage sites. If you go under that, if you do this, if I go click on edit, if you do this subdomain mapping, then yes, you can do that. You can make sure that this support desk shows up on your own site. So I think I have this as well. Let me see if I can. I don't know if you have set it up. There you go. So yes, the support desk shows up on my website, so to speak. Okay. Let's see. Then Zoho is great. Yep, Zoho is pretty cool. Just curious, KV Social, what is that show for? KV Social is Key Victory. It's a terrible name, but unfortunately the partners that I worked with in past had set it up even before I got in. So I'm still using KV Social. And it says today's the first time learning about support desk, and that makes sense. I think it's a lesser used feature, which I'll be honest, there'll be less development on it immediately, but long term there will be a lot of improvements on this part of the platform as well. Charity says, do you need your SMTP service connected to use this? Charity, great question. At the moment, we provide our own SMTP service for this. So we provide you SMTP for this, so you don't have to worry about it. But in future, yes, we might look to offer you your own SMTP, just like you have for List Builder and Membership Builder and so on. But for now, you can just continue to use our SMTP. All right, so let's go and look at all the tickets. So remember, now we have a ticket waiting for us from Will Smith. So this is a ticket that just came in. Priority is medium. I'm going to go in and I'm going to check it out. So Will Smith says, I ordered my product, but it didn't get my bonuses. Okay. There's all this information about Will Smith, and I can assign it to someone. So I can say I'll assign it to Neil. I'll update that. And if I go back to all tickets, there you'll see it's assigned to Neil. So if I go back here, I can add a note internally. So I can say, hey, can someone please give this user his bonuses? Again, this is good if you have a big team. If you don't need this, right? And I could say, okay, Neil's a recipient in this case. So Neil will also get an email about this. So done. This is a note. It's not sent to the user in this case. It is only sent to, it's only saved here. And what's going to happen also is that, ideally I should receive an email about this too, informing me that a note has been added. So that's how that would work too. But hey, I want to respond to Will Smith. So I'll go in here and I'll just say, okay, in this case, let me insert a canned response. So the canned response is this one. If I click on plus, close this. Okay, hey, thanks. Here's your bonus. Let's say bonusdownload.com. Right, then I can turn this into a hyperlink as well. There we go, Neil. Done. When you're happy with it, submit reply. When you submit that reply, you'll see the ticket automatically updates here. If I go back to all tickets, you'll see that the ticket now goes away, which means that right now it's pending. So it's sitting with the user who initially logged it. So what I can do now is I'm going to jump on over to here, and I'll go over to this, and you can say, okay, Neil Napier has responded. So Neil Napier has responded. To view this ticket, click here. I'm going to copy this, and again, you can see this is in the signature as well, right? That's cool. I'll go back here, and then I'll just paste the link here. Again, I'm doing this incognito because this is how the end user will act, right? So this is the ticket code. This is the ticket. I need my bonuses. Here's my response to this user, right? And then, you can communicate further. You can say, cool, got the bonuses. Thank you. Much appreciated. Reply, and the ticket goes through. You can say ticket gets updated here from Will Smith. I'll jump back over to InstaSuite support desk, and I'll jump on over to here pending. If I go click here, I need my bonuses. I'll be able to see now that, okay, he's updated. There's a, they got the bonus. That's fine. Excellent. It's good to go. And I can change the status to closed. I mean, if I'm happy with it, I'll just say, okay, let's close this ticket. Done. That's it. If I go back, I can look at the archival here and I can see the ticket as well. Now, again, moving forward, there's a lot more stuff I want to do here. There's a lot more things I want to add here. But for now, for a simple support desk, it works. And I have to tell you that support desks are dramatically better than emails that you otherwise use, because emails, things can get lost. It can get a bit cumbersome. It can get difficult to navigate through things. And it can also get a bit, sorry, losing my voice there. It can also get a bit difficult to keep up with the pace when a lot of tickets come in. When you start selling, people will have questions, people will have issues. The last thing you want to do is deal through all of that, via email. Instead, what you can do is you can deal with it via a dedicated support desk. That's what I would strongly recommend. Again, like I mentioned, there's so much more that I want to be able to do here, which will come eventually, but for now our goal is to make this a smooth experience for you, to make it easy for you. That's the key thing. Okay, Charity says, if they reply to the email, does it keep the ticket updated? Charity, yes, it does. As I just showed, if I go back here again, if I go to closed, when they responded to the ticket, as you saw earlier, this is where the ticket got updated. Yes. So if I go back here, let's say if I wanted to respond again, I could again copy this, and I could go here and copy and paste this here. This is closed already, but I could still send a response. Let's see. Hey, why did you close this? I need help. Reply. Okay, so you can see the reply went. Let's jump on back over to the support desk. I'll refresh this. Hey, why did you close this? I need help. So again, it's closed. I mean, ideally, if a customer responds, they should move to pending, or even more better, open, right? So that's something I want to make sure that we can do as well. So when a customer responds to a ticket, it moves to open. That's something we want to do as well in future. So that's, in short, basically how support desk works. I was just using online forms for a help desk. This is much better. Yeah, I think this is much better. I think it definitely provides a lot more simpler functionality, which is how we want it to be as well. And that agrees too. So that's great. But let me jump on over to this now. So let's talk about best practices for when it comes to support desk. I have to admit that I'm not the best support agent, and I'll tell you a story here. When I first got started working online, the first person I hired to help me was a designer, because I didn't want to deal with designs. It's not something I was very good at. And at that time, we didn't have all these different softwares that you have now. It was only Photoshop, and I didn't want to spend my time learning Photoshop. Canva didn't even exist back then. Then the second person I hired was support staff, and here's why. I mean, there are people who spend a lot of time in the support desk, and that's great. It's good for them. But the problem with me is that I tend to take criticism personally. I mean, it's difficult sometimes for me to separate myself from what I'm working on, from my product. So I take criticism personally. So if someone contacted me angrily and saying that, hey, your product is, crap, it doesn't work, I'm having these problems, you don't care about your customers, stuff like that. And that does happen from time to time. I mean, not everyone has a great experience with the product. And I mean, you probably faced that before as well. You bought a product and you felt excited, and it turns out that, it just didn't live up to your expectations. And because of that, you just felt like, I don't want to use this product anymore. So you send out a negative email, and that's okay. It's your state of mind. But I take that personally. So what I didn't want to do is that if I wanted to focus on sales, I didn't want it to be in a negative state of mind. I didn't want to think, oh, I don't really want to deal with this. I feel bad, like I don't want to sell this product because people hate me. People don't like what the product does, even though 99% of the people like what the product does. So my main problem was that I didn't want to deal with the negativity. And honestly, support this can be a very negative place, unfortunately. So, that's why I took myself out of the equation. Now we've got dedicated support staff. They deal with the tickets. Once a day, they can reach out to me and they can ask me if they're stuck with a ticket about how I can help them with it. That's it. I don't deal with support desk myself anymore. I deal with Facebook, for example, because there I can control the state more. Because if I can control the Facebook group more, I can control my state more. Of course, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong for everyone. Then it's bad for everyone, right? But what I don't want to deal with is a customer who is logging PayPal disputes because they're panicking. They didn't hear back from us in 12 hours, so they go log a PayPal dispute. I don't want to deal with that negativity. So personally, I outsource that because there are people who can objectively look at a ticket and work at it. I cannot. So when I talk about best practices, one of the best things I can recommend to you is that as soon as you're able, give your support desk to someone else. And you can literally find people who are the first line of support for $3, $4 an hour. And they don't even have to work full time. You can just pay them for a couple of hours a day. They can come in, they can work on the support. If they get stuck at something, they can ask you, you can respond to them. And that's how the process goes. Sometimes, yes, when there's a lot of support, I go in and I try and help out and answer questions. But I do notice for myself that if I do that, number one, I'm not as courteous or as polite as other people are. I'm a bit more blunt. I'm not as blunt as many others, but I won't treat a customer like God. That's not me. I'm an educator. And if you tell me you're stuck at something, I'll teach you that. And if you don't do it, what I asked you to do, I'll tell you off for that. I'm not going to pretend that, oh, it's okay, it happens all the time, you're the best customer we've ever had. No. If you make a mistake, I'll tell you how it is, which is why maybe I'm not the best customer for customer experience. So I prefer to outsource it. So the best practice really, what I would say, and for this, I absolutely love the hospitality industry in the US. Compared to Europe, the US hospitality industry is so good, so good. I mean, people smile at you. People, talk to you politely, talk to you nicely. Sure, they're getting a tip for that, but I've generally noticed that they have a better level of engagement than, the staff in Europe does or the staff in Asia does. So learn from them. If you ever travel to the US, if you're not from the US, see how they talk to you, see how they make you feel really, really special. And when you're dealing with a support desk, your job is the same. Your job is to, even if your audience on the other side is dumb, your job is to still make them feel good about themselves. Because if they, remember, when they come to a support desk, they've had a very negative experience. They're frustrated, they're angry, they're annoyed, the product doesn't work as advertised, maybe they didn't find value in your training, and they're upset. And it's okay. Your job is to change their state from feeling negative to positive. That's what you have to focus on. And think about how you can do that before you press submit. If someone sends an angry ticket saying, hey, where the hell are my bonuses? I expected my bonuses, but they're not there. You shouldn't say, hey, you need to look closely or get your glasses on. You shouldn't say that. You should say, hey, I'm so sorry in case you couldn't find your bonuses. Here's the link. Sometimes they get lost in all the different things. But please let us know if we can still help you with anything else. Thank you. That's an ideal response to a customer. Make them feel good even if they made a mistake. I can't do that. And maybe you don't want to do that, and that's fine. But as much as possible, that's what, one of the key best practices is for when it comes to support desk. Another thing I would say is try and answer tickets as fast as you can and as efficiently as you can. If you have too much back and forth with a prospective customer or a customer, they can get frustrated. So try and find the resolution quickly and try and respond at least within 24 hours, ideally sooner. Now, this is where the problem comes, and you probably would have noticed that too. When you contact us during the weekend, support is usually slower. They do respond, but the support is slower. You're going to have the same problem as well when you start selling stuff. Because when you start selling stuff, you'll notice that people will contact you every time. And you know what? I very strongly believe that if you're selling online 24/7, you better support your products 24/7. That's what I believe. Because if I hate it when people say, oh yeah, you can buy this 7 days a week, but we only provide support from 9 to 5 between Monday to Friday. I don't like that attitude. And this is something I disagreed with Susanna on quite a lot, because she said, oh, my support team only works, in these times. I said, no, we have to provide support after as well, because if you're selling around the clock, you have to provide support around the clock. It's only fair. People work at different times, different hours. We have to respond as soon as we can. And you will have to do the same thing as well. Again, you can go by without doing it, but my recommendation is if you want to build an amazing customer experience, respond to support tickets as soon as you can. I already told you how you can use UPSELL during support. I think you saw that already with the signature and everything. But let's talk about the last thing, which is about how to keep your customers happy. Now, again, remember what I said earlier. When a customer logs a support ticket, it's not because they're excited. It's because they're upset. They've had a negative experience. They came home from work and they sat down and they thought they will go through your training and they will learn how to meditate. And they go through your training and they find that to be difficult because there are audio issues, your video is flaky, all these different things. And they're just in a really, really bad mood right now, even though they should be in a good mood, but they're in a bad mood. So they log a support ticket. They say, hey, listen, I purchased this program. I paid a lot of money. I'm upset because I just can't even follow anything here. Can you please fix it? Or can you please try and make this work for me? Now, if your response to that is, hey, I'm sorry, it is what it is. I can't help you right now. I'll let you know when we do the videos, but it won't be right now. That's a bad response. A good response, on the other hand, is saying, hey, I'm so sorry that this didn't work for you as you wanted. What I can do is, if you want, I'm happy to jump on a one-on-one call with you and guide you through a few things while I work on improving the videos. That's, again, if you have time, of course, and if you want to do it. So you can say that. So I'm happy to jump on a one-on-one call with you right now, or as soon as you want, just, book a meeting here. And if you want, then I can, help you through it while I work on improving the videos. Or just say, my plan isn't to improve the videos right now, but for now, I'm happy to just discuss this with you one-on-one. Let me know if that's okay. So that's, you're giving them something more than what they expected when they came to you. One of the future products that, we are working on is a backup solution, as you know. And we've decided that when a customer emails and they're really upset about, something not working all right, then just to keep them happy, what we can do is we can give them extra storage. Because we can, we understand, hey, listen, I know how softwares work. I've bought a lot of software before. I know it can be a difficult experience. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you using this platform. Just to thank you, I want to give you a coupon that will help you unlock an additional 5 gigs of storage in our platform. Just to say, I'm sorry, and I'm just showing my gratitude to you for contacting us. Here you go. Give us a couple more hours and I'll get back to you with an update on this issue. And that's great, because not only have you addressed the issue head on, that, yeah, we know there's a problem with fixing it, but you've also said, hey, listen, I know you took out 5 minutes of your day to write me an email. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. As a sign of gratitude, here's a discount coupon that you can use for something now or the future. So you can do the same thing, especially with discount coupons, because if you give those out, then you will be able to actually offer people even more products in the future. So just think about that as well. So that's how you use a support desk to essentially not only answer support tickets, but also engage your customers, offer your customers value, and potentially even upsell them to something else. Let me know if that helps you. Annette says, yes, support desk is better to outsource. I also don't like negativity. Exactly. I mean, listen, and I'll be honest with you, right? Because I care about my customers. I care about you too, and I spend a lot of time with you on Facebook. But one thing I can't deal with is the negative emails that come in and saying, this is not working. Please help me. And I want to help, like I really, really do. But number one, there are better people waiting for you there, equipped to help you with that. Number two, my time is better spent working with you inside the Facebook group, one-on-one, as close to one-on-one as I can get. Third thing is that I want to also continue to sell and market this platform. So if I deal with a lot of negative energy, negative emotions around me about the platform, about me as a person, about me as a marketer, it would stop me from selling. So you don't need to, again, it's my request to you that you shouldn't go through that either. No one should go through that. If you are in the zone to sell, the last thing you want is someone pulling at your coat and saying you suck. The only thing you want to hear at that time is you're awesome and you're going to help a lot of people. And with that attitude, you go out there and sell. So, again, up to you. My goal is to remove the negativity by outsourcing support desk. But again, remember, when necessary, I do go in. And if my support team comes to me and says, hey, this customer is being quite difficult, can you please handle it? I'll go in and handle it my way. But I give my team a chance to work with that customer first. So yeah. Ragini says your candidness is refreshing. Thank you, Ragini. Will there be a replay? Ella, yes, I'll post a replay within 24 hours, hopefully sooner, within the Facebook group. And I'll also send that out as an email after. But great. That's all I had to discuss on the support desk. As I mentioned, it would be a short session. That's because there's not much to this part of the software, but there's so much more that I want to add to this. But for now, let me know if you found this useful. Let me know if this session was something that you can get some value out of. And lastly, this is our last session, but don't worry, I want to continue to do more of these more practice-based sessions from here on. So next time I have an amazing funnel that worked well for me, I'll tell you all about it. I'll do another bonus webinar session and we'll discuss those funnels at length as well. Now I want to move more towards giving you more value-based training than just technical training about a specific piece of the software. So now I'm hoping that after 8 bonus sessions that we've done, you more or less have a good understanding of how the platform works, how important all the different components are. Now my goal is to bring it all together for you, either through, like I said, live videos inside of Facebook, and I have to get back to doing those, or doing more of these bonus sessions. My goal still is at least doing 1 bonus session a month, ideally a couple of them, to give you some additional training on how to use InstaSuite or how other people are using InstaSuite as well. So that's my goal. James, bless you as well, and thank you very much for attending the session. Ragini, this will be great, a value-based training. Yep, no problem, Ragini, we'll do that definitely. Robert, Mark, Annette, thank you very much. Charity, you as well. And Annette, perfect, I appreciate that. Would love to see good physical product funnel examples too. Charity, so would I. Let me just say this, that I haven't really done any physical product funnel at the moment. Eventually I might, but for now I haven't. And within InstaSuite, there's still some way to go before you can do physical product funnels with integrated Stripe and whatnot. Hopefully in the future. That's my goal. All right. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Christopher's. Good name. Amir, appreciate that. Charity as well. We'll catch up inside the Facebook group, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next session, whenever that may be. All right. Take care, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.